I thought I'd share another thing in my Bible study this morning. I was just in Luke 6. Today I was hit with the time change of travels and I was so zonked. So I only read one chapter this morning. But in all fairness, Luke is like, his chapters are really long. But anyways, and I think it's verse 35, if I remember right, he says, love your enemies, which echoes what Jesus says quite a few times where he's, love your neighbor as yourself. Who's your neighbor? That's everybody. Love your enemies, turn the other cheek. If he asks for a tunic, give him 2 tunics, that whole thing. It's throughout scripture in multiple places. But today in Luke 6, like I said, I think verse 35, when he says, love your enemies, I was thinking about how that's actually hits the depths of what Jesus was talking about when he says the greatest commandment is to love your neighbor, because what greater love than to love somebody who's unlovable, that to love like the hard people in your life, to love the person who's treating you poorly anyways, because you love God most. Like, it is almost this like depth of surrender that we don't fully think about, because you'd have to fully trust God and surrender to him, knowing like vengeance is his and he'll take care of it and he sees everything, right? And this trust that he will take care of it and that you don't need to wear it, you don't need to worry about it, you just need to keep loving somebody. And this surrender of like, I'm not going to hold on to this and I'm not going to act out of emotion from what this person's doing and how they're treating me, because I love God most. Like, I don't have to, it doesn't make it right what they've done, but I love God so much that I'm going to obey this word he gave of like, love this person anyways, because they're made in his image. Like, I don't know. I hope I'm making sense. Like I said, I'm really tired today, but this morning I'm just like, man, that is such like, that simple command of love your enemy is such a deep surrender and trust in God, that it's really beautiful. The other thing is the end of that same chapter. I want to say it's like 45 or 46 or something. He talks about building your house on a rock or building it on the sand. And he starts off, he says, why do you say, Lord, Lord, and then don't do what I say, right? He's like, those who hear me and do build their house on a rock. And here's the cool thing I think about this scripture is people often miss the first little bit. He says, those who hear my voice and do, meaning he speaks. There is something to hear. Like, if you have to hear to do, that means he speaks and you need to listen. And I think that's missed so much in Christian culture, in so many churches, that they're not teaching about God having a voice and caring, right? Like, how can you surrender and seek him and get his opinion if you don't even know he has a voice and aren't praying in a way expecting a response back, right? And also, when he says hear and do, it's quite obvious that he apparently has an opinion on things. So how often are you praying and seeking what God's opinion is on the choices you have in life, right? Like, that's what surrendered living is. And people, I joke all the time that people are like, I make it look easy, right? It's super easy. It's just surrender. Yet surrender is the hardest thing for us to do. It's like so simple, but so hard. But there is so much benefit to it. Like, that's why I will die on the hill of like, surrender it all and you will live the most incredible life that you could even imagine. I'm talking about the God who created you and knows exactly who you're supposed to be, exactly what your kids all need, exactly what your marriage should be, like he knows it all and has already prepared in advance. He's just ready for you to let go of the wheel and let him take control.